Welcome back to another episode of Kate and Isaiah Living Large. I'm Isaiah.
And I'm Kate.
And we are joined by Amanda. Welcome, Amanda.
Oh, thank you.
On this episode, we're going to get caught up with Amanda. It has been almost 2 years since we've had you on. We had you on episode 9 and 10 in our very first episodes, really a long
Amanda
time
was
ago.
Our first guest, right?
Amanda was our first guest so long ago. That's a whole mic ago, a bunch of cameras, or a bunch of cameras. I wish we had a bunch of cameras. A bunch of lights ago.
Although each camera adds 10 pounds, I don't really want that.
But before we get caught up with Amanda, what's going on with you, Kate?
Well, since our last episode, I, of course, already talked about the James Mullinger experience and how awesome that was. And I still am reflecting on that a week later. And I traveled to Moncton this week to do a set, working on a new set, heading straight for a set at the Comic Sutra on Valentine's Day. Ooh. And I've got a bunch of gigs between now and then to polish some of that material. Hopefully it's not just polishing a turd. I don't know. I hope it's okay. What about you, Isaiah?
Well, this weekend, as of this recording, I am doing the sleep apnea test.
Ooh.
Yeah. It is an awkward sleep with this machine like strapped to your chest and like a thing on your finger to measure your heartbeat or whatever, and this nozzle thing in your nose. It's not the most comfortable sleep I've ever had.
No,
that's for sure.
It's like everybody's going to have sleep apnea after this experience because you keep waking up. It's the machine.
It's true. And then the fact that they didn't want me a nap in the middle of the day, and I still fell asleep. That was a big problem. I was sitting, I was like, no nap, don't lay down. And I was watching Walking Dead, and I fell asleep.
Then you became the Walking Dead.
Then I became the Walking Dead, yes. But that's enough about us. Amanda, how are you? What is new?
Hi. Well, since I last was here, a lot has changed. I think it's been a wild 2 years. Truly.
Yeah.
Yes. I think the biggest change is I have returned to the gym.
Nice.
Wow.
You are doing better than us.
It was a long ride to get back to it. But getting back to it has been one of the greatest things. And honestly, I didn't think that I was going to get there for a while. I really didn't. It was hard to, I don't know how to phrase it, but it was hard to get that motivation. Really.
Yeah, no, I get that. Yeah, the initial push to actually do something new routine.
Absolutely.
You also had some other mitigating issues there. Like you had some, if you care to share, some health issues and some.
Yeah. So when I was last on, I talked about how I had the diagnosis of osteoarthritis in my knees. So I was dealing with that. I went through a physio program with that helped. I also have dealt with a diagnosis of chronic migraine, which has been not fun, but I've been dealing with that and working through that. Similar to Kate and her journey, I commute to Fredericton a few times a week for work, which has taken a lot of life and a lot of time, and makes it hard to want to do anything in the day, really. But I got to the point where I was just feeling really bad about myself again. Okay. I was at a good point for a while there. I think when I was on, I was talking about, feeling better, feeling good. But then things took a turn. Things weren't going very well. Life happened, and life was difficult for a variety of reasons. And then I was like, I need to do something that's going to help both physically and mentally. And going to the gym really does help with that. Like getting back to it, I got back to it in August, I think, was
Okay.
when I officially rejoined the gym. I followed Kate once again. If anybody remembers those stories from my first venture on the pod, the fact that I've just followed Kate since we became friends. I followed her once again, and I joined Afterburn in August, and have made the lifestyle change of going to the 5:45 a.m.
Oh,
classes.
no, thank you.
Yes, I'm crazy.
You are crazy. 5:45.
Yes.
Oh,
It's the best motivation for me, especially on the days when I am commuting. It's the thing that makes the most sense. It's hard, it's difficult, especially on these cold winter mornings, but it has helped me so much in terms of physical and, like I said, mental health. And it's making such a difference in terms of everything right now.
So how do you get the motivation? Like, say your alarm goes off. Your alarm goes off at what time?
4:30.
So when your alarm goes off at 4:30 and your bed is warm, presumably, how do you make yourself go?
It's one of those things that, as cozy as I am, I've gotten to the point now that I feel guilty when I don't go.
oh,
And I was actually talking to somebody this morning. I went to the gym this morning for a stretch and mobility class before coming on the pod. And I was talking to somebody this morning who said, it's like, if you feel guilty about missing a day, it means that you kind of have your head in the right spot. And it means you're doing it for the right reasons too. That it's like you're not forcing yourself, because it's like your body deserves a break too if you do miss a day.
yep.
And I have missed days, and that's fine. But I feel bad when I miss a day, and I do enjoy it when I go. And I don't feel like I'm forcing myself anymore. So my motivation is just wanting myself to feel better, and also the community as well. The community that is at the gym and at those 5:45 classes is incredible.
Is that what you feel drives you the most? Is that the community? Is it the I'm going to hang out with friends or acquaintances? Is that a big factor, do you think?
I think it definitely helps. Like having like-minded people, people that are just as crazy as I am, to get up at 5:45 and do a workout class. And that, want to see myself succeed just as much as I want to see myself succeed. And if I'm not there for a class, ask me the next day, like, hey, where were you? Or or if I miss a couple classes, say like, hey, is everything okay? Like, they hold me just as accountable as I hold myself.
Okay. Yeah. The having someone to account for and hold you accountable.
Yeah. And it's not in a like, hey, you weren't here yesterday, what's wrong with you? It's you weren't here yesterday, is everything okay? Like it's a caring thing, not a forced, like, aggressive, you need to be here every day if you want to see results, but a like community of support and feeling like I'm doing something right and it's making a difference in my life, and these people actually care if I'm there or not. And it's been incredible to get back to it. Like I said, feeling better about myself and just the way I feel physically and mentally. Even though it's really early in the morning and I do feel tired sometimes, but it's good. It's been a good journey.
Do you think that if you were trying to do this on your own, just doing an individual workout 5:45 every morning, would you be able to do it?
No.
That's fair. That's fair.
It's the nice thing with Afterburn is that I feel like I'm doing an ad for Afterburn.
That's okay.
Come join Afterburn. No, the nice thing about Afterburn is that you do have the option to go and do like weight machines and go on the treadmill and the elliptical. Like they have machines that you can go and do your own thing. But I don't do that as much.
Fair enough.
My boyfriend, Brian, he does. He actually joined the gym with me. And he doesn't do the classes, but he does his own thing. Which, you know, it's been great for both of us to kind of have that extra level of motivation at home, even though we both go and do our own thing at the gym.
Does he also go at 5:45?
No, no, he does not. He goes later in the day, but he still gets there, which is what's important.
Yeah.
But he was actually part of the motivation for me getting back to the gym.
Not in a rude way, I hope.
No, not in a rude way. It was in the summer, he had started doing little workouts himself at home. Like he started looking at apps, and this kind of goes back to your question, Isaiah, about if I could do workouts on my own with my own motivation kind of thing. So he was doing workouts at home with an app, like just doing weights and stretches and stuff on his own. And I can't really motivate myself to do stuff on my own. Like I am more of a class person. I kind of need that. I need to sign up to do something and go and do that. And that's what keeps me going, is having that thing to go and do, and having that group that's going to kind of keep me motivated and on track, as opposed to just saying, okay, I'm going to go to the gym today and then not have to stay on track for it, if that makes any sense. But so he was doing those things and I was like, well, I need to start doing things again too. How am I going to do this kind of thing? And a lot of what was keeping me away from the gym was financial.
Yep.
Just as much.
Hear that?
Yeah. Right?
I can understand that.
So it's this thing that it's like, you know, it's not the cheapest. And I know that everybody struggles with money. But at the end of the day, I was like, you know, this is an investment that I had to make on myself. And as much as I still sometimes struggle and feel guilty about saying, do I really need to be spending this much money a month on the gym? I sit back and look and then go, yeah, I do.
You're worth it.
Exactly.
And it's not just the physical aspect of it. Like you say, it's improving your mental health and is giving you a sense of community and regular community and belonging that you really, it's hard to find in other places, because when you're releasing endorphins together.
And that's the thing. And it's like, it's funny to have like this group of like-minded people together and have the conversations that you do and have the laughs that you do and be like, I don't talk like this with other people. I don't feel this comfortable with other people. What is it about this group that brings us together? Is it because we're crazy and we're here at 5:45 in the morning?
Probably a little bit.
Probably a little bit, but also just like you're already feeling vulnerable because you're sweating and you're doing all these physical things. And, you know, it's a struggle. Like the afterburn workouts are not easy. They are worth it, but they're not easy. Like we did a whole episode about the time that I accomplished my first box jump on my own. That was a big deal.
Absolutely.
And it was because somebody held my hand. And I don't hold hands with people.
My big accomplishment this this past week was doing a reverse pull-up.
Amazing.
Nice.
I managed to reverse pull-up and I was like, damn, I did that thing.
That's amazing. You're like, I'm a beast. That was incredible.
Yeah, I felt so good. I was like, hey, I could not do that. When they first showed up in the circuit, I was like, nope.
For our listeners, what is a reverse pull-up?
So it's not like the pull-up where you're on the bar, like standing up and on the bar. So the reverse pull-up was, it's you're lying down and you have a bar over your head, and you pull up basically your entire upper body at torso, booty, hips. So up to the point where you're basically lifting your whole body up to your knees, essentially.
Up off the ground.
Up off the ground. So your arms are, I'm like, how do I explain this properly?
So you're laying down.
Yeah.
And then you're basically the bar is just above you, and you're pulling your whole body up off the ground vertically.
Exactly.
Horizontally?
Your body is horizontal.
Your body's horizontal, yes.
Your body is horizontal and you're pulling your whole body up.
Okay.
It's hard.
It's not easy when you have a lot of weight to lift.
Yeah. No, it's
So it felt so good to be able to accomplish that, especially where the first time I did it, I certainly could not. So
the first time I tried one of those, I just ended up in a pool giggling. So I was like, what?
yeah, so it's like those little steps in the workout where you're like, this thing that was so hard when I first tried it is now something I can actually do and do a couple times.
Yeah.
I still don't jump, so kudos to you and your box
Well,
jump.
I can't do it now.
But you did it.
That was
before.
a year and a bit ago, year and a half ago.
It's a little while ago.
Yeah.
So I want to go back to what motivated you to first go. So you said your boyfriend?
Yep.
I'm like, was doing little workouts at home, and that kind of pushed you to be like, I need to do something. Why do you have a feeling on why that kind of motivated you at all?
I think it was the fact that moving was becoming more difficult.
Okay.
I was getting winded going up the stairs again. Like, just, it's like in our house, the laundry, the washer dryer is in the basement. And I was getting winded going up and down the stairs, and my clothes were getting tighter, and I wasn't feeling good about myself. And I wasn't being nice to myself. Also, going back to the whole mental health side, I was dealing with a lot of stress and anxiety and stuff just around life being very heavily life-ish. And it's like I'm very open with the fact that I go to therapy, and I've been in therapy for quite a few years now. And something that my therapist had been talking with me about, she's like, you were doing well when you were going to the gym. You were feeling better when you were going to the gym. Have you thought about going back to the gym? And I was like, I have, but I'm like, I don't want to go to a Good Life. I don't want to go to a big box gym like that.
Yeah.
And so I kept pushing it off. And then going back to the whole financial side, I kept saying, it's like, I can't afford to go to the gym. And really kind of pushing off like that whole, I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm not going to do it. But then when I saw my boyfriend putting in the work at home and doing that stuff, and I'm like, he's doing this I need to find a way to do this, but I know that I don't have enough drive on my own to put the work in, and like just from home. I should, but I don't. Even like with when I was doing the physiotherapy program for my knees, they gave me a book, they gave me a resistance band, and they're like, here, continue to do these movements and workouts at home. I didn't.
No, well,
Like, and they're very easy things to do, and I should have. And he even told me, he's like, have you done your exercises? Did you do them? And I'm like, I should.
Now tell me this. When you went, you, like me, to remind our listeners, had gone to Port City Fitness for a number of months and years, and had a lot of success there. Because it was another great community gym where it was very welcoming, and you struck the same sort of environment that I did, where built friendships and people who anticipated you coming, etc. So you had built up that fitness. Was that your like in your adult life first time that you'd really gone to a gym and done classes like that?
Something like that level, yes. Like that was kind of my first foray into that kind of gym, and like my first time going to something and being that active where I'm like, hey, I really like this.
Right. So now when you return to Afterburn, a similar, not exactly the same, but similar movements and familiarity in terms of structure, because it is structured similarly.
Mm-hmm.
Did you find it easier to build up that gap of fitness, or harder, or same, or?
I think it was easier. Like there's certain things that I'm still building my way back into.
Sure.
But I definitely think it was easier to get back into the routine of, this is what I want to do, this is what I'm here to do, than it initially was with Port City. Because I'm like, oh yeah, this is what I loved about the gym. And like, seriously, loved. And I think I said it on the first podcast, but it's like, I never thought I would say the words, I love the gym.
No.
But it's like, I do. It's like the community, the trainers, like it's become a place that it's like, I want to be, not I need to be.
Right.
And like, there's certain, like going in there with the knowledge of certain movements and all this stuff, and knowing that it's like, okay, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And there's things that I still need to relearn, and there's some different things they do. But yeah, I feel like I wasn't going in as blind as I did with Port City.
For me, and the reason I asked the question is, when I first went back to the gym, I initially rejoined Port City, and then it closed after a week, which is all.
Yeah.
We've talked about that ad nauseum on this pod. But one of the things Vicky said to me is, because I was feeling really down in the dumps, of, over 450 pounds, like feeling really shitty. And one of the things she said to me, she's like, your muscle memory will remember. Your muscle memory will remember. And sure enough, when I went back, and then it wasn't as long. It didn't take as long to build up the fitness as it did the first time. And that is a sign of hope, because much the same as your body remembers to go back and make you big again and remembers all the food that you ate, it also remembers the fitness. And it's really kind of a magical thing to do that. Although it is hard, those first few weeks are really challenging.
Oh, for sure.
So I think we might wrap this episode up. So you've been pretty vocal about your stuff online. So I think our next episode, we're going to talk a little bit about social media. We're going to talk a little bit about the pros and cons of being vocal online. But before we start that episode, Amanda, do you have an online presence?
I do, kind of.
Where can people find you online?
I am on Facebook, I think it's just my name, Amanda Gaudette. And I am on the X machine, but I don't think I want to promote that one. I think it's just
perfect.
Yeah. I am on Blue Sky.
Hey.
I think I I want to say it's Amanda got it 24, I believe. And I'm on Instagram too, a panda 1990,
Nice.
because just for fun.
Sure. And what about you, Caitlin?
Oh, I'm at Kate D on Instagram, and I've started posting there again. Fat Caitlin on TikTok. Bye TikTok.
Bye, TikTok.
Actually, not for us. In Canada, it's still alive and well.
Bye, Americans.
By Americans. And Caitlin Dean on Facebook.
And I am at Maritime Brews, as well as I am Tweak the Prophet on almost all social media platforms. Of course, you can find us on Kate and Isaiah Living Large on Facebook. We still have the Buy Me a Coffee going, so if you want to donate to us, hop on over there and you can donate to that. And of course, if you are listening to us on Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you get your podcasts, we do thank you for listening. If you can like, share, subscribe over there,
Smash it.
smash that like button. Or if you don't want to come over to YouTube and watch the video of us recording, hop on over to YouTube. And if you are listening on YouTube, if you can like, share, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff, we appreciate that as well. But until next week, bye.
Bye.